We should be live now.
I can feel the living.
Are you alive and well?
I think so. I've inhaled a lot of plants today from whippersnipping, so the question of me being alive right now it's a bit dicey.
I think we're ready to go. We've got 4 people currently watching. Everyone's waiting in the lobby. Have a good call tonight, boys. Game Rescue. Thank you, Bradley.
I think it's maybe Gamer Esquire.
Oh, don't start. Don't start. we had this discussion last night. So we might be ready to kick it in the guts. As just keep the language down there, Bradley. I had to approve that last comment. So
Fun things to try. Instead of saying fuck's sake, say puck's sake, miss.
Fuck you, miss.
God, I miss just anything that Chris Lilly does. I like, to be honest.
Yeah. What's the quali? Is it a 15-minute quali tonight?
I think. See how good we are, Trev?
Or is it?
We're brilliant.
Is it 20?
Do you feel like the Mark Scaife and Neil Crompton going to the commentary box going, so what cars are we doing again today?
Oh, that's alright. We'll sort it out. Alright, we're ready to go, brother. Let's go. 15-minute quality, thank you. That's why he's there.
Yeah.
Right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world. That's right, we're back again to do it all over again here tonight. This time it's the KRL, what am I talking about? Project Cars 2 practice round number 1 here at the Hockenheim circuit, once again in Germany. And this time it is Tier 1, 20 laps around this circuit tonight. And this is going to be absolutely magnificent, following on from the success of last night's Tier 2 race, which saw plenty of action indeed. Like I said, we're back to it all over again as I welcome my co-commentator, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Rob Dog at 1996. It's fantastic to have your company alongside us, and it's a new beginning, new league, new championship, you name it, Rob. It's great to have you tonight.
Yes, everything's beautiful today. Really shiny since it's so new, but I can guess from the end of this season, I think we're still working out what cars we're going to do, but these are looking pretty likely. They're going to be pretty bug splattered and a bit dirty, just like my thoughts about you, Trev. But Hockenheim GP, great little circuit. A lot of people don't rate this circuit. They prefer the old Grand Prix circuit layout that goes through the forests, but I actually quite like this layout. It's quite fun, pretty slow in the third sector, but yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. So we'll see how these boys do tonight with the BMW M6 GTE car, one with the big rear diffuser, and doesn't get his arse wagged as much as the GT3 car, but sure got a lot of grunt from that twin turbo V8.
It is absolutely going to be, Jason says, Jason just leaving a comment there. Brad is the stream admin. Great to have you with us. Short Fuse Racing says, ready for a spin festival here in Germany. Don't forget the Speedo, Rob, from Wilco, says Bradley. Game Rescue, a.k.a. better known as Game Rescue. Nemo says, hey guys. Hey Nemo. Reaper, Z666. The Prince of Darkness himself says, keen to get into this league, and we are very keen as well, Reaper. And we are keen to have you on board. Currently having 8 people watching this live stream at the moment. Fantastic stuff. Rob, I'm not too sure whether you caught much of Tier 2 last night, but the action, if it's anywhere near half as good as what we saw last night, we're in for a treat once again.
Yeah, I mean, I actually caught up on it today while I was driving the tractor at work. I shouldn't be doing that. Nobody should be using their phone while tractoring. That's quite dangerous. But the action looked pretty tight. I do believe the pole times from the top two were covered by 0.017 seconds. So that's incredible for Tier 2 guys. And these are the big boys. The guys have been doing it for a while. Some new faces in here as well, but they're just as quick as the guys who've been here for a long time, like Cart Dude and Big Dog Jono and all that. So it's, yeah, I mean, if we can expect that from Tier 2, what can we expect from Tier 1 tonight?
It's going to be absolutely magnificent as the comments keep coming in. Great to have everybody's company here tonight. Brad saying Lee Stead's not going to have parts of Harry Ryan stuck to it. Oh, yes, shots fired. Old Gamer 76. That was a bit harsh, wasn't it, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, let's not talk about what's harsh and what isn't. I think a lot of people think it was a bit harsh from our F1 season, but boy, we had the last laugh in that one.
Certainly did. And, wow, the bitterness still lingers from that one, doesn't it? But Old Gamer 76 says, good luck to all the Tier 1 boys. Thank you for that. Kane Leishman says, hi. The man Crumpkin, who's, well, he's currently in the pit lane there, is V8 Man 51 Dano. Is he rocking the Lewis Hamilton livery? You guys are right. You guys okay? You're the best. The best fans. Doesn't matter where Lewis is in the world, Rob. They're always the best fans, aren't they? The best. And he's rocking the Lewis Hamilton livery there. Great stuff. Wilco saying Disaster and Morning Glory Hash. That's right, Rob. These are just some of the new names that we've got in this championship at the moment. They are coming soon. That sounds pretty interesting. And Bradley saying the gap for pole position last night was 0.013. 13, the lucky number, or unlucky number for Bradley. And Voodoo Racing saying, keen to see the curb eat some car. Baby, baby, baby. Damage on, says Wilco. Oh, we do have damage on too, Roberto. What's going on there? That could be absolutely spicy carnage then.
Spicy carnage. This is a sim race after all. We do expect a nice little prang here and there and some bumpers flying. Hopefully not Peter Brock-esque sort of flying, but certainly some fun action. I do believe the V8 man, our main Dane, is on a warm-up lap. He's going for his hot lap now. I think we might stick on board with him just for a moment, just to get a little feel of what this circuit is like. Very fun circuit, Trev, coming down to the second corner. Heavy braking zone, looking for that apex right there. Here we go, straight onto that. Beautiful, hitting the sausage curbing nicely there into this left-hand kick. Very flat fast, just full throttle there. You can see he's getting over to the left-hand side. A lot of guys use the middle part of this circuit here, Trev, just to help. It just helps cool down the tyres a little bit. That first two corners really gets the tyres certainly up to temperature. Really hard braking here. Two hairpin corners within one sector. Really difficult corner, that one. I usually get that one wrong quite often myself, but he seems to get it done pretty well there and actually takes a bit of a wide line. Right hand kink here, flat out. Little bit of a rear wiggle there. You can see that. This one's a difficult one too. You ideally want to get on the sausage curbing here. And this one here, you can do this flat out, but gee, it's always a bit of a balls to the walls moment when you do that. And this one here, down the gear, looking for that apex, and he's just mid-corner grip for our man V8, and it's not looking good. This one here, a little bit difficult when you can see that up on the AstroTurf, not the greatest line there. Still a bit cold on the rear tyres, possibly, maybe a little bit too much rear bias towards the back on the brakes, and you can see there, this little section here, the stadium section, very famous. Coming up right there, you want to be right on the over sort of that ripple strip there, get the maximum time as he goes on for another lap. But let's see what else people are doing at the moment, Trev.
Let's see. We just ticked into double figures on the live stream. Big hello to everybody out there as we take a look at Waffles. And you're spot on, Brad, because that time, Rob, of a 1:36.086 is absolutely flying. And I've got to say, we saw some quick times last night in Tier 2, but nothing quite that quick here in Tier 1. These Tier 1 guys are very serious racers, and they are absolutely on it at the moment. Just a tick under 10 minutes remaining in this session, so a chance for Waffles now. Is he on a hot lap, or he might be just starting another run? No, he's gone even quicker.
He is, and I can tell you this, Trev, He has just broken the lap record for the BMW around this circuit, just on that lap itself.
Unbelievable. Incredible stuff. A 1:35.633. And as you heard from our man Rob, the Spicy Boy, Maverick Spicy Boy, that is a lap record around this circuit. That is absolutely unbelievable stuff as we take a look at Wimpinator now, whose lap time of a 1:36.213 didn't look too bad, did it? But he's got into the 1:35s as well. 1:35.836. Brad says a 35. Geez, well now there's two 35s. That is a scintillating pace, and now it's a second down to Del Rimple Dimple, the man on your screen, Rob. So, well, at the moment at least, Waffles and Wimpinator in a class of their own at the moment.
Yeah, class of their own at the moment. Don't put it past Wimpinator, though. He's been incredibly quick on the Friday night leagues. And, yeah, I mean, don't put it past him to put a time in that's faster than Waffles. So this is certainly on for young and old, as Scafey would say, for the qualifying time. And, of course, qualifying is always the best time to watch these cars because they're at the quickest at any point. So, it'll be very interesting. But our man Wilco's only a second off pole, and let's be honest, Waffles and Wimpinator are probably the guys to beat at the moment. They're very good in GT cars, so Wilco's not doing too bad at the moment, sitting in third. Matte black livery looks quite nice on that BMW, but these cars look absolutely enormous on this circuit, Trev. It almost reminds me of the Le Mans memes from a couple of years ago. Having these cars going around that circuit, but we're having a look through the times at the moment. Actually, Wilco and Dal Rimple Dimple only separated by 1/100th of a second, so that's pretty impressive itself. Actually, the top three, the three through to fifth, separated by only 3/100ths of a second, so that's certainly on that one there, and Wimpinator's back on circuit too, so we'll be finding out. But our man Big Dick Jono, he hasn't really shown his true pace yet, but I do believe their team is named specifically after him. I think it's Big Dog Racing, so this man's got to represent at the moment, and yeah, never discount this man because he's awfully quicker in GT cars, and he's awfully quick on this game.
He's an absolute superstar. There is no doubt about that. Geez, how about English, Trev? But speaking of the teams and the drivers, Rob, we will get to that shortly for this brand new season. Kid Buyers Racing League, named after yours truly. I'm not sure why it wasn't the Kid Dog or the Wilco Dog Kid Racing League, but anyway, it seems I've picked up the naming rights to that.
Well, actually, Wilco has to stay 150 metres away from anything related to children, so I think this is for the best.
I think it is too, as we'll just get through some of these comments just to confirm what I said earlier tonight. There is no damage on, so I think I might have said there is damage on, so no damage on. And Big Shep has been good enough to join us. Well, where is he tonight? Big Shep, a very big hello from the Shepo at the Royal Hotel in Upper Ferntree Gully, Burwood Highway.
Oh, Compact's getting blocked on this lap here. Sorry, Trev, he's got the lights on, and there's a man in front of him, and the Compact looks incredibly quick, and he's just gone out of the way there, but I think that's a bin lap.
Well, and Kaima has been good enough to join the stream as well. Big hello to you, Kai, who says spicy, pinchy laugh emoji. And just a fantastic person. The best wife going around there, Kaima. Big hello to you. Great stuff. And Pissed and Broke 05 says, "G'day, Trev and Rob. Great to have you with us." And the lights were on there, Rob. I think, was it Compact getting blocked there we saw on that qualifying lap? But 5.5 minutes to go in this session now. Waffles and Wimpinator still in a class of their own. Jason Wilkinson sitting there on the second row of the grid in P3 with a 1:36 flat, 4/10 off though of the pole time. Then it's Dal Rimple Dimple down there in fourth. And now we're riding on board with Ridey. What's he been able to do? He's just cracked into the top 10, but he looks as though he's going to improve on this lap as we ride on board with him coming into the stadium section. Look at that, up to fourth gear, 200 kilometres an hour through where Sebastian Vettel bottled it a couple of years ago in the Ferrari. As he comes through the final couple of corners now, back onto the last, through the last corner, onto the start and finish straight at this famous German circuit. And will he be saying Alvita Zane inside the top 10 here tonight? He comes across the line, or is he just starting a hot lap? It gets me every time, Rob. Oh, a bit of a moment there too.
Yeah, a bit of a moment. We just crossed away from that. Unfortunately, it's always great to see somebody crash, but yeah, it's what is this man going to do? And more importantly, this bloke here, he's always lurking in the background, and then he just strikes. It's this man is so quick, it's ridiculous. And in fact, he's got a German flag BMW, Trev. He's got a German flag BMW, which means we are allowed to make Nazi jokes tonight. Thank God for that.
Yes, the living space in the east. We'll get onto that a little bit later, but we've got Bradley saying, go the Woffs. Remember, the ways of the bus are very, very strong. He says, we look at Wimpinator now. Oh, he's on the ragged edge, look. And is he going to improve? No, I doubt it, but he might be just starting his lap now. Thank you, Brad. Wilco also improved this time. I think we mentioned that, a 1:36 flat, as here he is, the man on your screen at the moment. So 3.5 minutes to go in this
that's a corner cut
session, and that is a corner cut and a half if ever I've seen
Big
one.
Dick Jono up in the third. There he is.
Oh, Big Dick Jono doing what Big Dick does. And he is on to the second row of the grid. Fantastic stuff for him. Do we have time to go through the teams and drivers? It's pretty frantic at the moment, Rob. But those cars are looking absolutely beautiful. We might go through the teams and the drivers. Do you reckon we should do that with a couple of minutes remaining? Or should we might stick with the action, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, we'll stick with the action. While we're on the grid, we'll go through that. I think it'll be more professional of us, because we are professional gentlemen, Trev.
We certainly are. As Reaper says, Car and Jono, you're quicker than this. You are quicker than this, says Reaper. Old Gamer 76 says, it's OGT. And Short Fuse 141. And Brad says, close for Big Dog Racing. They've locked out the second row of the grid, Bradley Marshall. Sending his love all the way from Nowra in New South Wales. And we've got a new saying we picked up last night, Rob. It's a Nowra thing.
What exactly does that mean? Is it an Nowra thing if I make love to my family?
Not sure. It could be a New South Wales thing. They're into all sorts of funny stuff up there. No, just joking. Bradley is LG Hooker. You're the best. And I've got to tell you, he's 8th best at the moment coming into the stadium. This man, Roberto, my little German friend, is on a mission. Look at this, through the last sector here at the Hockenheim Ring in Germany. And he is not going to be seen as a Dunkhoff tonight, because he'll be looking to go one better here. He's currently on a 136.922. Can he sneak into the early 136s and improve his time? As someone's just having a bit of a moment there. Who was that?
That's a good question. Look, I have no idea, but I'm just going to say it was Wilco. I know Wilco's in a black car, but I think Wilco is always the answer. Wilco is the way.
Wilco is the way, the truth, and the life. And Voodoo says, good luck all, clean racing. Thank you for that. Reaper, Old Gamer 76 says, don't know, ask John Dog. He's a Nowra boy from way back. So just a tick over 1 minute to go in this qualifying session. Big shout out to all 14 people watching here tonight. John Dog now on your screen. Waffles comes into the pits along with Dizzy Gillespie. What a great cricketer he was. But John Dog through turn 1. Where's he on the timing sheets, Roberto? He is in P8, is he? Yes, currently in P8. And Brad says, I'm a Nowra boy too. So the Nowra boys getting all gangster up on the chat. Great to have you with us, though. And boy, these guys are just going to try and sneak around now. If they can get across that start-finish line before the time runs out, Rob, they can have another lap.
Yeah, they can have another lap. It's on the house. It's from us. And I'm just trying to think. It's unfortunate that we don't have the split timings. I can't get the split timings on this, which is a bit shit. If I bring that up, it might tell us a little bit of a different story. So the boys would be on the lap now. I do believe. I got no information from that. Why am I even having a fucking look at it? But Wimpinator's on the lap. And Short Fuse will be on the lap.
That's good. Well, while you try and get it up, Rob, we will look at Short Fuse 141 as we've ticked down to the end of this qualifying session. And our man Wilco, Brad says, I believe Righty has a penalty. Thank you, Bradley. Wilco says track grip was low. And Righty with a one-place grid penalty, as Old Gamer says, come on, J-Dog, get the lead out, mate. So here we go then, Short Fuse coming into the stadium for what will be his last qualifying run here tonight at Hockenheim. He's currently sitting in 6th position, so the 3rd row of the grid. But can he improve on his time of a 1:36.292? He's just the skin of his sack away from Cart Dude up there in P5. He comes across the line. Can he go one better or even more? Yes, he does.
Oh,
He has split the Jono Racing team. What's the name of his team again? How good are we? But he's in the middle of a Wilco and Big Dick sandwich there, because he has taken 4th place on the grid. A stunning lap there. So we've got 4 drivers in the end, Roberto, in the 1:35s.
I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. But I was just having a quick look before the screen disappeared. Wimpinator is the quickest in Sector 3, but Waffles is quick in Sector 1 and 2, so Waffles might be running a little less downforce, but we should go through these team names while we can before the race starts.
Let's do this then. The drivers, here we go. We've got the drivers and the teams, and for Big Dogs Racing, it's Wilco, Big Dog, Jono, V8 Man and Cart Dude in Shake and Bake. Then it's Compact and Morning Glory Hash for Mad Cats Racing. That's a tongue twister. Disaster and Hooked for Hook and Diz. Nemo and Righty there as well for Finn Kelly Racing. Short Fuse and Waffles for Maple Fuse. Then it's Beast FC, John Dog and Whippinator. And Dimple and Crumpkin for Kane Dimple Racing. As we go back to the starting grid. Hopefully that was quick enough, Roberto.
That was pretty quick indeed. I couldn't keep up, but it was beautiful, and I admire your passion and speed. You're a beautiful man, Trev.
Thank you for that. I'll take a compliment any day of the week, but we've got 20 laps around this circuit. We were meant to have 16 drivers, but we've got 15. That's close enough as all 15 drivers stare down into turn 1. It's round 1, the first practice round for KRL, Project Cars 2, in this new league, this new championship. How good is it? Big hello to everybody out there tonight. And also thank you to Wilco for those qualifying notes, which I didn't read any of. But anyway, we've got the race notes ready to go, as Brad says. Fantastic! And Reaper's got the shotgun black livery, boys. Absolutely loving that. Black love heart as well. It's great to have your company. And all we've got to do now is go racing. Here we go then. Almost ready for lights out. You can feel the tension. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Go, go, go for Germany.
We've got a great start. Waffles is on the outside, so Wimp's got to get through. Great start by Wimpinator. And as you can see there, terrible camera shots for the going down the grid there, but looks like Big Dick Jono's having a look on the inside. Wow, Jesus Christ, Big Dick Jono's gotten through. Wimpinator falls into 2nd, Waffles into 3rd, Short Fuse into 4th, and it looks like Wilco's having a look on Short Fuse. Wilco's on the inside of Short Fuse and Waffles. This is absolute pandemonium here, people. Jason's now looking for a move on Wimpinator, and Big Dick Jono and Wilco are back into 1 and 2, and now Short Fuse goes up the inside, around the outside, I don't know, around the outside, in the inside, I don't know, but there's a big dick between him and victory at the moment, but yeah, that was a crazy start.
Unbelievable start, and it sees Big Dick Johnson. He just slipped his car down the inside and into the lead, and look at this.
Contact!
So close. There's contact with Compact. See what I did there, Rob, but I think everybody's got away cleanly for the most part in this race. 20 laps of it here at Hockenheim in Germany. It's Big Dick Johnson, somebody off further back coming into the stadium section, but it's Big Dick Johnson leading this race by 0.5 of a second ahead of Whippinator. Then it is Short Fuse, somebody onto the grass there. It's Compact, and he may have picked up some damage, as Piston Broke says all of these sexual puns are just getting too much for him. But it's after 8:30, is it? We can say that stuff. But it's Big Dick Johnson in first position in this race. But my goodness me, he's got Wimpinator keeping him honest. He's got Wimpinator pretty close for company. Lap 2 out of 20. And you can see the pressure he's under. It's much easier to chase than it is to lead, Rob, as he pinches a break into turn 1. But first, second, third, and fourth on your screen. Short Fuse and Nemo appear to have penalties there on your screen. And 13 people watching this live stream. We love each and every one of you. 13 is our lucky number. And Rob, I'm going to give you a chance to talk right now.
Yeah, the moves on here. John Dog on the inside. So on the outside there was Dalrymple Dimple getting on the inside of John Dog. I do believe they're in a team there, so the cars are quite similar indeed. Dalrymple Dimple now right on the, well, not on the arse of Wilco, but he's not that far behind. Wilco, though, is having a look at Carter. I don't know how Carter got the snuck up there, but he certainly is. Or is that our man Bradley? I'm not too sure. They do sound very familiar. Waffles there on the back of Short Fuse in the same team. The teammates there having a little talking to. Waffles just getting on the brakes a little bit later. He looks a lot more comfortable in that car than Short Fuse at the moment. But that's not the only battle that's going on at the moment. Wimpinator and Big Dick Jono. Big Dick Jono's is sort of pissed off a little bit there, I'll be honest, Trev, but not by much. But the important thing to remember is that Wimpinator is the second fastest out of qualifying. So anything can happen, and he usually does. Waffles and Short Fuse there. Waffles getting past Short Fuse, so he's been let go by his teammate. Short Fuse happy to get on the ripple strips, or I wouldn't be happy to get on the ripple strips there. A little bit scary. Wilco, he's going to have to hold off Dalrymple Dimple now. John Dog's let Dalrymple Dimple pass his teammate a little bit quicker than he is, but Wilco looks like he's falling through the order, unfortunately, Trev.
Certainly does. He's down to P6 at the moment, as Bradley says he can confirm that it's, I can confirm it's me. Old Gamer says, hunt him down, wimps. And Pissed and Broke reckons Short Fuse will spin soon. And Waffles and Short Fuse there. But Nemo now, the man who we haven't mentioned too much of so far, he's currently holding on to a position in the top 10. He's got a penalty already, but he's down the outside. And
it was brave. That was a very brave move. It can be done there, Trevor, on the outside, but he just went a little bit too deep in the braking zone and hooked. Really drove a beautiful line there, just gave him an ever-disappearing wedge to drive into, and he's done a great job. Hook, oh, there you go, Nemo pinching a brake there, but he does look a lot quicker, actually. These cars do seem to suit Nemo a little bit more than what we've raced in the past. You can see the lights blaring there as well, as I'm just looking through the timing sheets. There's so much action to go through, Trevor. I don't know if I can contain myself.
No, same here, having a lot of trouble containing myself at the moment, but Wilco, wouldn't say he's on a comeback drive, but he's down in P6 like we mentioned, 4.5 seconds off the lead. Lap 3 now out of 20 here in Germany. And it's Aussie Assault saying, who's joining us. Big hello to you, Aussie Assault 639, the man who was in Tier 2 last night. He says Short Fuse is the one to watch for late race speed. Very interesting indeed. Piston Broke says, wow, how are these guys not turning on that ripple strip? As Brad also saying Crump with a penalty as well, along with Short Fuse and Nemo. Thank you, Bradley, for that. But lap 4 out of 20, mandatory pit stops on for this race, Rob, as well. We've got 25 degrees track temperature, so the track is quite warm. And it's going to be interesting. The soft tyres can only last 15 or so laps.
Oh, that was... There was a bit of luck there involved in that one. Just a mid-corner spin. It's easy to do in these cars, getting a little bit, when you go a bit slow and the car just wants to oversteer and snap like that. It's one of those sort of cars, but he did a good job holding it. A little bit of luck involved, and he's still maintained second. And I think Waffles was probably thinking, oh shit, here we go again. He was really catching him at a rate of knots before he got that car all gathered up again. So yeah, that was a little mistake from Wimpinator there. So psychologically for Big Dick Jono, that's going to be good for him. Wimpinator not so much. He's going to have to get back in that groove now, that rhythm, and try and push that car as much as he can. But yeah, that was a little bit of a moment from that man, and I know how quick he is, but will that destroy his confidence at the moment?
Don't forget either, we are going to have light rain in the second half of this race. And usually when it starts raining, it's 6 or 8 laps before the track is too wet, and we've seen that can be the case here many times before in many different categories now as we ride on board with Dalrymple Dimple. who's right up Jason Wilkinson's ginger there, as Old Gamer says it's OGT here. Come on, Wimps, head down, brother. Head down, ass up. Aussie Assault says bring on the waffle bus. He reckons at Waffles there might be a bit of a trolley train, I think we like to call it too, Rob, forming behind him at some stage of this evening's race. But we're expecting race pace in the high 36s, low 37s. But obviously, Rob, once that rain does hit, times can be up to 5 to 10 seconds slower.
Yeah, I mean, we don't expect the cars to go any quicker in the wet, but gee, I do believe that will throw up a little bit more of a controversial race. I mean, these cars in the wet really takes away any advantage that they have in mechanical grip, so it's going to be to those guys who are good with a bit of a loose car. People like Big Dick Jono, who's very good on a loose car. He likes a little bit loose, Big Dick Jono, but yeah, it's down to those guys. Kart Dude as well. I mean, he does race karts, not for a living, but he's very, very good at it. And down Ripple Dimple going into a wall there, so that's a massive mistake. And luckily for him, there's no damage on at the moment, but that's going to cost him quite a bit of time. As you can see there, he's just spinning in the grass, as a lot of people apparently do in this league as well. But yeah, just a little bit of rain will throw up a lot of questions in this race. And Wimpinator, again on the timesheets, he's closing in on that that last sector there, third sector, but he's losing time on the straights. Obviously, with that slipstream effect, he's not getting much. And I think Big Dick Johnny just locked up a brake there. You can see he took the shallower line in there, so he did lock a brake, and obviously it kind of worked for him because he got out of that corner a lot quicker. Of course, with the big diffusers in the back of these cars, Trev, as soon as you hit that throttle pedal and get a little bit of air underneath it, it just wants to grip up immensely. So yeah, that might be a little bit of a hack he's found there. I'm not too sure, but yeah, these boys are still going hammer and tongs, and it's only lap 6 at the moment.
Here we go, like you said, only lap 6. So a long, long way to go in this race. As Piston Broke says, this track is absolutely terrible wet. He's off to get some popcorn. That's a bloody good idea, because this is going to be a grandstand finish. I think I say it every week, Rob, but it always never fails to disappoint. Old Gamer says, bad luck, Dimple, get back on it, mate. Hashtag comeback drive. And Brad says, that'll free Wilco up, no longer being chased by Dimple. Interesting point there, I like it. As we ride on board, that's what we're being told to do, Rob. We're being told to go through the cameras, and we're riding on bonnet cam with the man himself, Jason Wilkinson, our man Wilco, one of the 4 untouchables, as we are approaching lap 7 now out of 20. These races go so quickly, and he's coming onto the main straight now, and he's chasing it down, Can't Dude, and I've got to say he's getting a fair bit closer to him. A little bit quicker, about a 10th quicker last time around, Rob, on that lap for Wilco. So we're expecting, we're seeing the sorts of race pace that we were expecting at the moment. But, well, there's just been so much action in the early part of this race, and we're not even halfway at the moment.
Yeah, we're not even halfway at the moment. I'm just observing at the moment in the first 2 corners there, Car Dude's actually getting on the brakes a little bit earlier than Wilco, so Wilco's got a better car into the corners. I just want to watch these next couple of corners here and see where Wilco's a little bit quicker than Car Dude. Car Dude going in really deep there. He's going for the move on short fuse. You can see that he's just getting closer and closer, ever so more. But Wilco looks like he's actually got quite a stable car at the moment. You can see comfortably going through there flat. Although Kart Dude using all the road, even the ripple strips, getting the car a little bit sideways, trying to get that little extra time, but it's not working for him because he started to fall back into the clutches of our man Wilco. Wilco could probably go a little bit wider there just to get that little bit of extra pace coming into here. You can see there though, Wilco is happy to go a little bit shallower. Car Dude having to go a bit wider through the corners there and out of the corners to maintain pace and try and keep that car as stable as he can. Wilco there though, just going for a little bit of a shallow line. Usually when I was trying to shortcut those chicanes as much as you can to get as much speed as possible. As you can see, Wilco slower at the last quarter than Kart Dude. So you can see that Wilco's a bit front on the brakes, a little bit quicker through the faster corners, but sort of the medium speed corners, his car's not as good as, not as well set up as Kart Dude's, but Kart Dude's definitely fighting that car, trying to get lap time at the moment.
He certainly is, as Piston Broke just commenting. Wimp and Waffles closing hard on Big Dick. I had to approve that comment because of the words hard and Big Dick. But Reaper saying, be right back, Sheilas and fellas. Very PC from you, Reaper. He says, I've got to order a pizza. I'm sure that will be delicious now. But Cart Dude is under a hell of a lot of pressure, isn't he, here? But Short Fuse is really holding him up at the moment, isn't he, Rob? He's not doing Cart Dude any favours. I don't think it'll be too long before the Taswegian will have mirrors full of our man Wilco before too long, because this is getting a bit of... We thought it might be the Waffles train, but it's looking like the Short Fuse train at the moment. But let's just recap on what's happening here. There's still plenty happening, and wow, it's very close, isn't it? We saw this last night with the battles at the front and the midfield as well, but it's very close again tonight for Tier 1. The best Project Cars 2 drivers that we all know and love racing here tonight. Great turnout last night. We had about a dozen or so drivers last night, and we had 15 tonight as well, so that's absolutely magnificent. But we just might recap for anyone just joining us. If you've got your popcorn and your pizza and your beer alongside you, it's lap 9 out of 20 here at Hockenheim. First of the practice rounds for the Project Cars 2 KRL Kid Buyers Racing League Championship here. We're going to have a couple of practice rounds, and we're going to have a week off for the Grand Prix and then be back into it on March the 19th, so stay tuned for that. But Big Dick Johnson still leads this one by 1.7 seconds now, ahead of Wimpinator in second. Then it's Waffles in P3, ahead of Short Fuse, Cart Dude, Wilco. And John Dog, Hooker, LG, Hooker, you're the best down there in P8, and Nemo. And then it's Dell, Rimple, Dimple, Compact Righty, V8 Man, Dizzy Gillespie down in 14th, and Crumpkin doing what he does best down in 15th, as Voodoo Racing says no pizza yet. He can't decide, Rob Dog.
He can't decide. That's absolutely terrible. And, we were told not to make any voodoo jokes, I do believe, but this little doll here who's next to me with pins sticking out of its head with a picture of our man Wilco is looks like it's being effective at the moment, because he's just dropped off a couple of seconds there. But as you can see, Wimpinator getting passed by our man Waffle, so Wimp's really struggling at the moment. I don't know why that is. To be honest, we can't get any data from the cars. We can only get the speedo, see the throttle traces and the brake traces. But it looks like Big Dick Jono was maybe had a moment or something, but Waffles is absolutely blistering with the pace at the moment. Our Pulsitor coming back through the field and trying to take what he thought was rightfully his. And is it going to be rightfully his? We'll be finding out in the next 10 laps. And gee, we haven't even thought about the rain yet. We have talked about it earlier in the broadcast, but the rain is still going to hit. So is it going to hit around about now? Is it going to hit a little bit later? Is it going to hit towards the last couple of laps of the race? Big questions on the minds of these drivers at the moment, but the biggest question on Big Dick Jono's mind at the moment is, how am I going to stop this man from catching me so quick? You can see Big Dick Jono making a mistake there, so again, that mentality aspect, that's going to be great for Waffles. You know, he could push Big Dick Jono and he's going to possibly make a mistake, but Big Dick Jono, you know, he's a cool customer. He doesn't crack very often, so yeah, it's all up in the air at the moment with these boys.
As I've got to say, this is getting mighty, mighty close here. Lap 10 out of 20, which means half the race gone and half still to go. And it's great to have, thank you Murray, it's great to have everybody's company here. 10 laps gone, 10 to go, like you heard Murray mention. And this is very, very close. That gap was only 1.7 seconds a moment ago. And don't forget, we've still got pit stops coming as well. Thank you, Bradley. And Old Gamer saying he's feeling the heat wafts. Get in there, son. Go for it now. But Big Dick Johnson, like you said, he's an experienced campaigner. He's a wily old fox, and I'm sure he would be sitting in that cockpit now, lapping up this pressure, absorbing every second of what's going on. Like we said, he's a wily old customer. He could be just looking to save these tyres, but my goodness gracious me, it's getting very, very close. Could he have a crack at him down this straight here, Rob?
I do believe so. Looking at the sector times from the qualifying, he's so quick on those straights. So anything's up here at the moment. But if I was Waffles, I'd be thinking about going for the pass down here into the hairpin. I actually see a little bit of rain coming down now, so this is the time to do it because Big Dick Jono is mega in the wet. Waffles giving Big Dick Jono a little bump there, just a little bump saying I'm here, but it looks like he's dropped off from that a little bit. So Waffles needs to really get his act together now, start pushing and try and get past Big Dick Jono, because as soon as that man sees a little bit of rain, he's all over it. A Big Dick loves a bit of wet weather.
Certainly does its best work in the wet, talking from experience, both of us. But I've got to say, Piston Broke says, send it soon, son. And that is not the only battle on track here, but I can see a few raindrops as Short Fuse comes into the stadium. I reckon those soft tyres are going to go off shortly as well. Piston Broke, thanks for the comment. As Bradley saying, we've got a few penalties here, I reckon. Short Fuse, Cart Dude, 4th and 5th, so that'll keep Wilco interested there in P6. Those two have penalties, along with Nemo in P7, also having a penalty along with V8 Man, everybody's favourite Queenslander, and Crumpkin down the back as we've got Compact and Crumpkin in the pits. Thank you, Bradley. And they are pitting early as Dimple. Did he have a bit of a moment there going through the stadium section? He's got Nemo right up behind him as he rob in the rain. I think the rain is coming on!
Nemo, what are you doing? Oh, they've collided, they've touched Nemo. Dalrymple Dimple all around, and let's just be honest, Nemo was going for a gap that never really existed in the first place.
Oh, if you no longer go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver. Thank you, Ayrton, for that, but that was just... It just got... I was just about to crack into song, and it just got... went from bad to worse, didn't it, Rob? And neither driver winning out of that situation at all.
Yeah, nobody won out of that one. Unfortunately, Nemo looked like he had really good pace, and yeah, he just sent it too soon. Wasn't close enough. He went for the corner that really isn't a passing corner. You can do it there, but with Dalrymple Dimple closing that door pretty early on, it was a bit of a silly mistake. But it is only a practice round, so we'll get better. And he'll learn from that, and hopefully next time we visit this place, he'll be able to send it down the inside of that corner and get past. But for now, Short Fuse and Wimpinator, this is looking like a little spicy battle as well. And just looking at the times between Big Dick Jono and Waffles, it expands and it closes again. Of course, Waffles a little bit slower in Sector 3, the last sector. Coming out of here now, we're going to Sector 1, long straights, and that car looks like it's definitely set up for the straights at the moment. And I'm certain that man has hard tyres on. He always practices with the hard tyre. From my experience, that is quite annoying because I'll go for the soft tyre, and towards this part of the race, he'll be a lot quicker. So this man knows what he's doing, but we're going to think about the heat factor now. The soft tyres love working in the heat. Love the high temperatures, and with a little bit of rain coming down like it is now, the heat will be bleeding out of him as much as, well, not as much as possible, as much as you can think. So, yeah, the hard tyres though suited to a little bit of a cooler temperature. So we'll be finding out very shortly what's better. And you can see, as soon as I said that, Big Dick Jono locking up and having a moment there, and that just allows Waffles to get a little bit closer and closer. And each time he does it, he just gets a little bit more of a confidence boost. And Big Dick Jono's probably hoping that rain hits harder than it is right now.
You can visually see the rain coming down as Piston Broke says, what the pluck was that? Old Gamer says, let's go, John Dog, let's go. Ooh, ooh. As Brad says, Bittiger there from hashtag Nemo Nation, what the pluck was that? Poor Dimples has been bashed around both nights. He's been copping it at the moment. He has been in the war, Dimples, but lap 13 out of 20. We've seen Compact and Crumpkin come into the pits. And you've got to say, Rob, they might as well. They're down the back, so you might as well take a risk. We saw Lance Stroll and Kvyat do that in the German Grand Prix last year at this same circuit, and they ended up nearly both on the podium. So here we go then, lap 13. Make that 14 now out of 20. And this is getting very close indeed. Just a coat of varnish in it between these two combatants. Big Dick Johnson there. And Waffles in P2. It's a further 2 seconds. That was very close indeed. And it is Big Dogs Racing now versus Waffles for Maple Fused. Racing. Cart Dude now in the pits as well. Thank you for that information. He's currently down there in P8, but it's all about this battle as they appear to be coming into traffic as Dimple in the pits as well.
Oh,
Big
geez,
Dick Johnson
yeah.
just sending it out a touch wide there, Rob, and almost paying the ultimate price. And you can see the track starting to get that sheen to it, and it gets very, very difficult to control these cars. Oh, there's some traffic in the
don't come
way.
out there, Nemo. What are you doing?
And absolutely, oh, he's just got to stay out of the way, doesn't he, Rob?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, just coming out like that in any situation is a bit rough. And Nemo providing the fireworks in the back. That he did say he was going to do it earlier on Facebook, and he certainly is. But Waffles certainly getting closer and closer to our man Big Dick Jono. But you can see Big Dick is really, really struggling into that hairpin. You can see just last couple of laps, Trev, he's been locking up, and he just doesn't look very comfortable with his car at the moment. Earlier on in the race it looked fantastic, but now he's really, really struggling. So this could be getting closer and closer to either a crash or a pass. But got to say that the track's not really getting that wet at the moment. As I say, that Waffles has a little moment on that ripple strip. That ripple strip really screws you over when you try and use it. It's very inviting. It tries to bring you out. Every time you touch it, you get turned around. So he was very lucky there to keep that thing straight. But now Waffles is on the straights. That car is certainly set up for it. You can see he's just eating into that time now on that straightaway. And let's just watch Big Dick John. What happens if he gets on the brakes here? You can see he's just pushing it too hard. And you can see again he locks up. I think that's the right front. And it just gives it that little bit of pivot, that lateral motion, and it looks very scary from the outside. Of course, he probably knows what he's doing, or not probably, he does know what he's doing, but it's just giving this man Waffles and Bits a lot to play with now. He knows he can push him and make him do mistakes like that, and Big Dick Jono's just hoping that rain gets a little bit thicker than it has in the background. And who's that in the background going around and around and around? I have no idea. But it's I need a rest.
All happening at the moment. Somebody in the background there was spinning around. They're off the track. But we've got 5 laps. Let's just recap what has happened here at Germany. We've seen a little bit of everything. It's been very, very spicy, to quote the great man, as Wimpinator now into the pits. So here we go then, and Waffles into the pits as well, along with Short Fuse. So they're all coming into the pits now. Big Dick Johnson stays out, keeping in mind there is a mandatory pit stop tonight. And Big Dick Johnson, well, you've got to say, is he going to pay the price for staying out, and Wilco staying out as well? Rob, incredible stuff here.
Yeah, these boys put a practice in these conditions probably sometime earlier today, or maybe even last night. But it's a big risk, and I mean honestly that track's getting wetter and wetter, and slicks don't tend to like operating in wet weather, so yeah, I mean it's a big risk. I mean it's a practice race. He's willing to play the gamble, so we'll find out how this works out soon, but I'm not too sure what the pit transit time is, Trev, so this could be interesting. I think if it's around about 40 seconds, if he can get past that 40 seconds mark, he'll be in front of Waffles when he comes in the pit. But that's a big risk to be playing.
Absolutely, the biggest risk in life, Rob, is to not take one at all here. Lap 16 out of 20. We'll get to your comments. Voodoo says, the salty gods have opened the heavens. Sweating harder than a fat man at McDonald's. He says the pizza man is on its way. Sweating harder than Rolf Harris at a daycare centre. We also would have accepted that. Old Gamer says, after him, Woffs put the blowtorch to him, brother. Looking for guys to pit now. Woffs for the win, says Old Gamer. James Barton says, I copped a hit in the rear and got terminal damage. And Nemo says, sorry to my hashtag Nemo Nation fans tonight. That's okay, my Kiwi friend. Is lap 17 out of 20. And I think the rain is coming down. And we've got 3 or so laps to go, and I reckon this is going to be one almighty gamble. So just to let everybody know, there is a mandatory pit stop though, isn't there? So it's going to be difficult to see how this is going to work for Big Dick Johnson and Wilco, Rob.
Well, it's not worked at all because Waffles is 35 seconds behind, and he's constantly, that time's fluctuating a little bit just because of where the timing zones are, but it just gets lower and then it sort of goes back to where it was. So I don't think the gamble's going to pay out here. Maybe Jason will have to play as a bit of a rig gun. You can see just in the wet conditions how crossed up he is getting into the hairpin there. So you either come in for the wets now and save your race, or you keep doing this and you drop down the order. And let's not forget that Short Fuse and Card Dude isn't that far behind these guys in the dry conditions before everybody pitted. So yeah, I think Big Dick Jono might have taken a risk too far tonight.
I certainly agree with you there, Rob. It's going to be interesting to see who is going to end up the sauerkraut tonight as Voodoo now. Brad saying these guys are staying out, as Voodoo Child says, I've got a good joke. What's the difference between Santa and Tiger Woods? I'd love to know, Voodoo, get your answers in.
Santa stops at 3 hoes.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I tell you what, Rob, you've just pissed on Voodoo's bonfire there, I reckon. But anyway, Wimp Piston Broke says Wimp had a slow stop. Thank you very much for that. And Big Dick Johnson is into the pits. Our race leader coming into the pits here, along with Wilco for Big Dick Racing. Or is it Big Dogs Racing? I think it is the team name there, but they're both coming into the pits. They're currently first and second, but now our attention turns... Oh! What on earth is happening there?
That's shocking reversing. I can do better in the Woolies car park myself, but I think these two boys have left a little bit too late. I don't know where they are. Still putting tyres on.
Oh no!
Look at this, Trev. They're still getting the lug nuts off. Absolutely disaster.
Oh,
now Waffles is going to be able to get past easily. He's not going to have to worry about a thing from now on.
Oh, it's like looking at Daniel Ricciardo in Monaco, wasn't it? In 2016, they just didn't have the tyres ready, did they? But he comes back out of the track. Here comes Waffles. You watch the track. I'll watch the pit lane, as Murray Walker used to say. He's in the lead. He's in the lead. Amazing stuff. Just as we said that the race had gone for Big Dick Johnson. It hasn't worked out for Wilco, but never mind about that. This is incredible. Reaper saying, Big Dog, he drives more like a Jack Russell. That is incredible. An absolute masterstroke of strategy there for Big Dick Johnson. It's not over yet, though. We've still got a couple of laps remaining in this race, and his tyres have just got to get up to temperature, don't they, as well, Rob? But still, unbelievable stuff. And Wilco, despite he missed Waffles, but he's in third as well. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, this is going to be great for the team now. It's a good psychological boost. First and third, Jason playing the Bottas role. Trev at the moment, but yeah, Big Dick, you can see he's struggling with tyre temp now, and that's going to give Waffles something to look at, because he's been on these tyres for a good, let's say 4 laps. They're full of temperature and they're ready to go, and Big Dick's tyres around about towards maybe the second last corner of this lap will be anywhere good enough to fight back, but you can see it's just got a little bit wide. They're into each other now. They're into each other. Waffles a bit is on the inside now. Off the chicane, Big Dick gets away with it, but by how much I don't know. But Waffles and Bits is looking absolutely mighty in these conditions. You can see he's right up his clacker at the moment. Waffles and Bits just having a look around the outside. And yeah, this is absolute pandemonium. This is going to be an absolute crack of a finish of a race.
Penultimate lap of this race here in Germany. First practice round of the new KRL season. And it's great to have your company with us here tonight. And it is going to be a grandstand finish as Waffles looks down the inside. He's not going to get through there cleanly, but penultimate lap of this race. And boy, oh boy, Big Dick Johnson with the master stroke. He made the right call to come in when he did, but like you said, the tyres taking a little bit to heat up there, and he had a moment there coming through the final part of that lap there, and Waffles, they were side by side, weren't they, coming through the stadium, and Waffles goes down the inside.
Jeepers creepers, true, jeepers creepers.
Almost touch. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Here we go then, Waffles coming back into the stadium section now, and he is right up behind them. There is less than a second in it. You can see the spray, and
he's gone deep. They've both gone deep, Drew.
Big Dick Johnson goes off, but then Waffles went off in sympathy. We see that happen. many times. One driver goes off and the driver right behind them does the same thing, but we're coming up to the last lap of this race. And Old Gamer says, you've got him, Woffs. Piston Broke says, did Wimp get the right tyres? But it's Big Dick Johnson leading just by the skin of his sack, ahead of Waffles in second. Wilco, not a bad result then. So team 1 and 3 at the moment. Cartoon in fourth. Then it's John Dog, Short Fuse, Righty, Wimpinator, Hooker inside the top 10. Dell, Dimple, Rimple in the top 10 there. And Dizzy Gillespie down there in 11th with Crumpkin 12th. But last lap of the race, Rob. And boy, we are set for an incredible finish here, as Reaper says, shoot, nearly had another soul to take from a wreckage. That's very dark, isn't it? The Prince of Darkness there, putting in his 2 bobs worth. But last lap of this race, Rob, grandstand finish.
Grandstand finish indeed. These two boys are just making mistakes, and it's making it absolutely exciting for me. Waffles with the lights on. He's looking absolutely menacing at the moment. Only 3/10 away from Big Dick Jono. Big Dick Jono's going to be thinking, what am I going to do now? My car's not great on the brakes here. Waffles having a look on the inside. I think he's going to get it done. Big Dick Jono's going to get squeezed. He got squeezed, and now Waffles is going to take off. But Big Dick Jono got the absolute greatest traction out of that corner. Big Dick Jono fights back, but Waffles and Bits has the inside line for this corner and this corner only, because Big Dick Jono has the inside line for the next one. And is he going to go deep? Waffles and Bits. Big Dick Jono comes through, and he takes that one pretty comfortably, I'll be honest. They're very respectful racing at the moment, but let's wait for the next couple of corners, Trevor, because this could get absolutely spicy indeed. Coming up to the next section now, the stadium section. Very exciting, last lap. Big Dick Jono gets a wobble there. Big Dick Jono goes sideways. They're both into each other. Waffles and Bits on the grass. He's around the outside on the grass. Now Big Dick Jono on the inside. Trev making very sexual noises there. Big Dick gives him a rub and a push, and he says, no thanks, this is my race. But Waffles and Bits, he's still not going to give up. He's very tenacious, this boy. Up there,
he's around!
Now Waffles and Bits has gone around. Absolute fucking pandemonium.
He's around, which means Big Dick Johnson will win this race. I was making funny noises, but I couldn't even watch. But Big Dick Johnson, what a nail-biting finish. What an incredible race here at Hockenheim. Waffles and Bits finishes in second. Wilco comes across the line to take third position. Great stuff for him, Cart Dude. He has a penalty, but he's 6 seconds ahead of John Dog in P5. The Taswegian coming across the line to finish P4 as John Dog 2010 comes across the line to round out the top 5. So a good result for him. Piston Broke saying of an exciting end, unlucky for Waffles. But what a finish. I couldn't even watch as Short Fuse comes across the line. He also has a penalty, but he comes across the line in P6. And now Wimpinator, who's coming across the line. But what a tense final lap there, Roberto. I was just, it was nothing in it at the end. Just like Bruce McAvaney, Hackett and Thorpe and Hackett, they're going stroke for stroke at the moment. And Voodoo saying, or Brad saying, wow, what a phenomenal race. Give that man a stroke.
I mean, I feel like I almost had a stroke. My air sacs at the moment are feeling quite empty after that one. It was on at that second hairpin there, Trev, and it just, those two boys just giving each other bumps and rubs, and Waffles thinking, you know what, I'm going to try and send it. Yeah, win it, bin it on the last lap in the last corner, and unfortunately did bin it, but gee, those two boys really going hammer of tongs, and not bad for a test race.
Unbelievable stuff. Well, Voodoo Racing says that's gotten moist. I was a little bit moist as well. He never quite told us what pizza he was having, and I hope that pizza man is on his way. As Old Gamer says, good race, J-Dog, and Brad saying, give a man a stroke, just watching. Not sure what Brad's on about there, but let's recap. What a finish, what a race we saw in the end. But it was Big Dick Johnson taking the win tonight for Big Dogs Racing. Waffles and Bits in second after that tense final lap. Wilco making it 1 and 3 for Big Dogs Racing. Then it was Cart Dude coming home in fourth for the first of the Shake and Bake boys. Then John Dog in P5. P6 for Short Fuse, 1-4-1. So he will be enjoying that. Maple Fused Racing. Wimpinator in P7. Voodoo still hasn't got his pizza, and he's about to have a stroke as well. LJ Hooker, you're the best. I don't know how much commission he'll get for finishing in P8 there, but disaster. You probably missed my joke last night, Rob, about the lady who backed into the fan. That was a disaster. But anyway, we've heard that one before as we go through the
crikey.
top 10 now. Dimple, Dimple in P10 there. P11 for Righty. Crumpkin in 12th. It was those two yellow cars that were causing havoc at the back there, wasn't it? But Compact in 13th. 15 drivers started, 13 finished. And it says application suspending in 15 minutes because license cannot be verified. I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, we'll just ignore that at the moment. Hopefully I don't get kicked off of Project Cars 2, but we're about to interview our top 3 drivers, so stick around for that. Get your questions in as we have Jason Wilkinson joining us in the post-race press conferences, Rob, and we might get a few words from him in his own language.
Yes, his own language. Wilco, that was pretty interesting for you in the early stages of that race. You had a good old ding-dong battle. Great to bring that one back, by the way, Trev, ding-dong battle. But you were having a great battle there with Waffles and Big Dick, and they just started dropping away, mate. The car looked a little bit tricky to drive there for a while, but behind Car Dude, though, it looked alright. You certainly were better on the brakes than Car Dude, to say the least. But P3, though, that's a good result for a test race, mate.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I don't know how and why I had so much straight line speed on that first lap, because I just flew past all the other guys, and then sort of was pinched in the middle, and I'm like, oh fuck, had to back out of it, so I didn't take out everyone. And yeah, then I get my front left, I was running soft tyres, Brody was running hard, so bit of a mismatch with tyres, so I was a bit faster at the start, and then I think he was just a bit more consistent, and then when the hards always started raining, yeah, he had to pit early, made the wrong call, but that's what practice race is for, and yeah, it somehow ended up in P3.
Great stuff,
Yeah.
Wilco there. Good result for your team, 1 and 3 for Big Dogs Racing. It was a little bit of a hectic race though. The rain came in late, mate, but you were sort of sitting at the back there. Did you think you could have jumped Waffles? You both came in at similar times. Do you reckon you could have jumped Waffles there into P2, or that wasn't going to be happening?
Well, we're looking at the gap, and we were sort of pulling out, and then in that last sector before we pitted, Waffles went like 3 seconds faster, and I'm like, uh-oh. And then I sort of stalled it twice trying to leave the box because I forgot I've got auto clutch off. And yeah, and then I realised I was coming out in front of Brody, and she was all good. But yeah, not bad. Jono is gone, so I'll get you, Trev, or Rob to say something on his behalf when we get up to it.
And
No worries, mate.
I was just going to say, Big Dick Johnson, great race tonight, mate. Very tense final moments in that race, but you've got to be happy with that, mate. P1 tonight, the perfect result for you.
Yeah, P1, mate. Yeah, fucking.
Slippery gypsy.
Yeah, it was really good, mate. Waffles a bit gave me a run for me money, and he's wicked quick. Don't know what he really looks like. He probably looks like a plumber or some shit. But yeah, no, great race, and yeah, a lot of touching between us. You know, Big Dick likes to go into a waffle, if you know what I mean.
And thank you for that, Big Dick Johnson. And what's in store for the rest of the evening, mate? Down to your local for a pack of ciggies and maybe a slab of something, or just a quiet one tonight?
Mate. Yeah, nah, it's looking like a bit of a night. I do urge people to drive safe, because earlier I was driving around and fucking slid into a fucking bottle away, and just had to go get a cart. So I think that's my plan for tonight. And yeah, you're gonna sit back and with the misso, have a couple of fucking dairies, and sit back and have a couple of VBs, and have just a nice night before I have work tomorrow, mate.
And,
You know when podium interviews just go too long?
all right, hang on. He gets into the party, Rob, and this is the sort of stuff we get. But don't let me.
Jono's not a smoker, but yeah, we'll get it. We get it. He's a big dog.
I think just his voice. We're just going off his voice. But Shep, who's checked in here tonight, he's loving every second of this. Big hello to you, Shep, and everyone else watching tonight as well. Big Shep down at the Royal Hotel in Upper Ferntree Gully, Burwood Highway in Victoria. playing trivia, and he was in a break. So here we go. Reaper's got his pizza. We got our pizza. Thank the Dark Lord for this moist pizza. So the Prince of Darkness.
Let's not forget Waffles and Bits though, because he is in the
Yeah, I
party
was
now.
gonna
Did
say.
see him join and leave again, and join back up again. Waffles, that was pretty intense for that last part of the race. In fact, the mid part when you started catching Big Dick Jono looked really, really interesting, and you just had some pace in that car, buddy. You just couldn't get past, and there's a few rubs and touches, but that looked like a bit of fun out there.
Yeah, just cruising behind me for a while and realised I had the pace, and I just couldn't get around the bit of average driving going on ahead that I couldn't quite make the passes on. But at that rain section kind of looked like a kid without his floaties on. He couldn't stick to the road, so I was trying to get around without spinning him. But couldn't quite get there. Unfortunately,
you had that dive into the last corner there, a little bit of contact, and you in fact probably started putting the floaties on yourself because you just ended up spinning around. But P2 is a pretty good result.
well, I had enough of gap time. I thought I'd have a last cheeky dive into the last corner, see if I can run him off.
Why not? Win or a bin it, mate. Win or a bin it.
Oh, I tried. That's about all I can do. Hope there's more wet races in the future. That's all I can say.
No, good stuff, Waffles. Good stuff tonight, everybody. Big Dick Johnson taking the win tonight. And
cheers, guys.
Also, well, we thought great podium interview. We thought it was a fantastic interview, but Wilco maybe not finding it as funny. But anyway,
Well, Wilco can have his opinions, but he's only a lowly race driver in this situation.
and, anyway, we thought it was good, and that's all that matters. And Waffles finishing P2 and P3 for our man Wilco. Great stuff. We're just about out of time here this evening. In what we've got to say, Wilco and Rob have been a couple of pretty successful nights. We've had nearly 29, almost 30 drivers participating in both Tier 2 and Tier 1 over Wednesday and Thursday nights. And also plenty of interaction as well. So still for practice rounds, we're not doing too bad.
Yeah, not too bad for practice rounds. Only got to catch a little bit of the race from last night today, and it looked pretty exciting. So I'll definitely be tuning in for Tier 2 if I can't make it next week. But yeah, wonderful, absolutely brilliant racing. And Tier 1 was pretty fun tonight. There was a little bit of average driving, let's be honest, happening on, but a lot of cobwebs being blown off at the moment. But you know, I've got to thank Wilco for setting up the leagues. Again, he does this out of his own time, even though he's a bit of a cockhead, but he does it out of his own time. He's a nice guy. And we absolutely love commentating over this league, me and Trev. And a special mention to our man, Gamer Rescue, or is it Gamer Esquire? I'm not too sure. In the comments there, keeping us honest, me and Trev. So thanks to him, our man.
The Untouchables.
The Untouchables.
Great stuff. Fantastic to have everybody's company as well. I think next week we are coming to you from Road America, I believe. Wilco, is that correct?
It is correct. So I've changed the track on the top left there and just let it in the comments. So Wednesday, 8:30, Tier 2, Road America, long straight. Get around it.
Get excited this time next week. Road America, of course, Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. for the Tier 2 race. And then Tier 1, of course, half an hour earlier at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to subscribe to the Kid Buyers channel. It's been great to have your company here. And stay tuned for plenty more racing action in the coming weeks from this brand new league, brand new championship here on Project Cars 2. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you next week. It's bye for now.